I'm going to do a quick walk by so you can get an idea of what's left in the garden. As we get closer to fall, I've been pulling out a few things here and there. Got a pile back there I think you can see from the corn stalks and sunflowers. We've had a few sunflowers that have fallen down. Back in the corner there we got some sunflowers and Mexican sunflowers. We've still been getting plenty of tomatoes and plenty of peppers. Here's a closer look at some of the peppers we have going. The carrots, those are ready to harvest, but I might wait until the weather cools down a little bit. The peas have blooms on them. Cilantro, I've made 4 plantings of that. And the 4th planting is just starting to come up down there. Some of that's ready to use now. Got a little bit of lettuce coming up in that grow bag. Some late beets. Some more late beets. And lots of peppers. That one's looking pretty good. There's the Fiesta peppers. This is kind of a cool looking one here, I think. This is the Midwest Midnight Eclipse 2.0. Right behind it is the original Midwest Midnight Eclipse. There's the Onyx Teardrops. It's kind of a cool looking pepper plant, I think. I'll probably be harvesting this sweet potato bale this week, maybe today, I'm not sure. Right behind it we have some peppers. These are chunky sweet. As you can see, they're very prolific. And you have peppers from the ground all the way up to the top, which is probably getting close to 4 feet now. It's embarrassingly weedy over here. You can see some of the peppers back here in the corner. Some of them have more peppers on them than others. Some pretty purple ones there. These have a really big bleeding calyx on them. This is another one that has bleeding calyx. It's called nightcap. And look at all the peppers sitting on it at the top. It takes a while for you to see the peppers because of the large calyx on each one of them. The sun gold tomato plant is getting a little diseased. I might be pulling it out before too long. I'll probably do another picking. We've got quite a few tomatoes still on it. Here's one of the volunteer F2 sun golds. I have 3 of those that are yellow and 1 that is red. And 2 of the yellow ones taste pretty good, so I might be keeping both. I'm not sure. At least one of them. Here's a nightcap pepper plant over here. Lots of peppers on it. Got really big calyx on each. This is a cross between a Courbaki and a Jimmy Nardello. I tasted some of these not too long ago and they taste really good. There's some late popcorn that I planted. I'll be harvesting that soon. The Chadwick cherry plant has really been productive. We've got a whole bunch inside. I'll go get those and let you have a look at them. Here's a look at some of the Chadwick cherries. I'm not sure how many there are. This is a large pizza pan full. There are a handful of sun golds included on this pan, but you can't hardly see those. But as you can see, this variety is very productive. They taste pretty good, but for me, they're a little too seedy. They occasionally split, but most of the time, I'd say well over 90% of the time, they don't. Unless you pick right after a rain or something like that. I'm not sure if we're going to get any peanuts this year, but I have 3 plants. They're starting to look pretty good, but We'll see later when I harvest. Here's that variegated basil. This variety isn't supposed to produce seeds, but I'm not sure, but it looks like it's starting to produce flowers, so we'll see, I guess. These are late pole beans. One you're looking at here is called rattlesnake. They're very productive. Got some beans that are ready to pick right now. Might get out here and pick these today, maybe tomorrow. You can see this cage here did pretty good. I planted these, I think, in July, the first week of July. On the other side of the cage here, we have some Cherokee Trail of Tears pole beans, and they're a little later than the rattlesnake. So I have to keep that in mind if I decided to plant late pole beans again. And the third variety I have planted on this cage is called Seychelles. I only have a few of those, so it's not going to contribute much to our bean harvest, I don't think. Right next to this cage, over here we have a trellis. I planted some about 2 weeks later, and as you can see, it made a big difference on how far behind they are. And I don't know if these will have time to make it. Depends on how long we have to go, and we never know once it gets to October. This is our last Rosella purple over here by the storm shelter. We only have a few left to go on it. It's starting to show disease pretty well, so I don't know if it's going to make it in time for those to get ripe or not. But we've got a lot of tomatoes off this one this year. I'm saving seeds from this one just to see if it's genetic or what. But it's been more productive than any Rosella purple I've had. On this day, we harvested some Rosella purple tomatoes and a few bush beans. Normally in September, we don't get nearly as many tomatoes as we have this year. On this particular day, we got mostly the F1 hybrids. Those are really good, by the way. And some Rosella purples, just a couple of those. Some Shimo furry tomatoes. And 3 China jade cucumbers. I planted some late cucumbers and they're really coming on. We've canned some tomatoes, we've frozen some tomatoes, and we've even made some salsa. The banana plants are embarrassingly small compared to what they usually are at this time of year. Some of them are just now getting over 6 feet tall, and normally they would be about 12 feet tall. It all has to do with watering. I haven't watered them at all this year except for the rain they got and what they can reach with the roots of the drip irrigation system. I picked a whole bunch off these Juanita plants. I've got 2 different phenotypes. I'm not sure what I'm going to call the second one. This one over here with the white peppers on it is Juanita. It's got 3 white peppers that are completely white due to variegation. You can see the rest of them down there are striped, and it's got 1 ripe one there I need to pick. These have really good flavor and mild heat. I like it a lot. While I'm next to the Juanita, I might as well show you the Midwest Midnight Orange. Starts with these nice, pretty little purple peppers, dark purple, some of them very dark, and then they ripen to a bright orange color. I think you can see some down in there. I just picked a whole bunch of them a couple of days ago, so there's not too many ripe ones right now. This is a pepper that I haven't talked about in a while. It's got 3 plants in the same grow bag here. One of them is not variegated, loaded with peppers. One of them is variegated. It's got quite a few peppers on it. And then one of them is a mutant. And unfortunately, it's got a whole bunch of peppers on it, but they're all sterile. None of them have seeds. Something about the genetics in that cross. I've grown some of these mutant plants for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now. And every once in a while they pop up, and each time they're sterile with peppers that have no seeds. So eventually we'll quit having those because they can't reproduce. I never show the fig plant over here. We've got a few figs on it. I don't really think they'll have time to ripen though. I've been kind of ignoring this plant for quite a while. We have gotten some ripe figs from it before and they're really tasty. Here we are back by the fence. We'll get a few more cucumbers, but not too many. I'll probably leave one on just for seeds. I just noticed this. This was our healthiest peanut plant. We started with 4 plants and now we're going to be down to 2 because I can see what happened to this one. We lost the first one to gophers. You can see this, they've eaten all the roots. I can just pull this plant up and you can see we've got a couple of peanuts that have formed that they didn't get. But most of them were just starting to form peanuts and didn't have time to get them done. I'm sure they enjoyed quite a few of those that were just forming along with most of the roots. One of the smaller plants they pulled down into the tunnel and the plant completely disappeared. That's about all I have to show you this time. If you're just now finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.